What's up YouTube? Punk Metal Dow here with another Cognizance is Key video. This one being a analysis on Lindemann's Knebel. If you're not familiar with Till Lindemann, he's the lead singer for Rammstein. Recently he broke away and kind of not really did a solo project. It's him and a gentleman from Sweden, I believe. Unfortunately, I did not do the homework on who that gentleman is. I meant to. All the other homework on this subject is done. However, he was not. Giggity, I guess. Anyway, but so the video for Knebel is very interesting. If you just look at it on the surface, and while I'm not well versed in German, I did learn enough about what Till Lindemann is saying to kind of get an idea of what the song may be about, especially in conjunction with the visual aspect of the video. And I do want to give kind of a warning. This will go into very sensitive subject material, mainly because my thesis on the video and the song is that it is about an abusive relationship. So if you've had an experience in your life where you do not want to recount something like that, I fully understand. Please feel 100% free to turn away from the video now. But with that said, I would also like to give a shout out. I do not know this person on a personal basis, but this is one of the channels that I enjoy, and this is actually how I got to know about the song, and I got to hear what some of the lyrics are about. So I do want to give a shout out to Vlog Dave, VLOG Dave. He is a German YouTuber who really kind of goes into, well, he kind of teaches German, but he uses Rammstein and Lindemann as a jumping off point for doing so. He's very entertaining. He definitely puts some effort into his work. So if it sounds interesting to you, definitely check him out. Maybe he can enrich your life either through entertainment, education, or both. But kind of going into my thesis on this, and this should kind of go without saying, there will be spoilers. Something like this will always kind of have spoilers. You'll either be actually, well, I can't actually say if you're watching someone watch the video, that would be a spoiler. I do not have the ability to show the video since I do this from my PlayStation. So I'll be doing my best to really kind of paint a picture of what the video is like. If you would like to watch the video before, or Lindemann's video for Knebel before watching this, I fully understand. But going into it, so the opening scene depicts a very cold and desolate land with a simple building, kind of lightly pressed against some mountains, and it pans in, and you can see Lindemann in ice. There's a circle where it looks like he's maybe kind of broken through, and he has snow and he has frost all over him, and he looks very distraught as a disembodied female voice is speaking. And I believe she's speaking one of the lines. I do not know German well enough to repeat the line verbatim, but it's something about Knebel, which means a gag. And to my knowledge, it means in a like a sexual sense, and maybe not even necessarily a sexual sense, but a gag inside that goes inside the mouth to where the individual cannot speak. And the line essentially is saying, "I like you better with this in your mouth." So it's almost as if she's saying she wants him to shut up. And I apologize. Since I can't, show the video and whatnot, I kind of have this in notation form, so I'm having to, scroll through and actually, make sure that I'm kind of looking at my notes and going point by point on this one. And then some very sad music kind of comes into play, and you can see that Till Lindemann in this video is very much a prisoner. However, the interesting thing is it seems to maybe go to a past point in the video prior to the ice, where he was trapped in water. He very obviously has a chain around his neck, excuse me, and everything around him is just water. He displays some very desperate and erratic behavior, as well as angry behavior. And then it cuts to a scene of him and the bandmate leading a naked female through a creek by some chains. They are very much free. His bandmate is playing guitar. Lindemann himself is holding a book with a bullet hole that goes cleanly through the whole entire thing. I do not honestly know what that's meant to represent. That part of it still kind of has me a bit intrigued. But this kind of is where the thesis really kind of begins, because it's very dehumanizing to that female. We never get introduced to her by name. She is stripped away. She's being controlled and led. So it kind of has this air of possession and dehumanization to it. And then you see some very desperate survival attempts, in my opinion, by Till. There's water flowing, well, not really flowing, dripping through a hole in the ceiling, and he's drinking it. He's eating bugs off the side of the wall. And it just kind of, in my opinion at least, gives a notation of he's very much trying to survive whatever he's going through. And given my thesis on this, I would like to state, because that almost did sound sympathetic, if this is about someone who abused someone in their relationship, I do not sympathize with that person. Whatever they get is what they deserve, quite frankly. But I'm just saying that it kind of gives that idea that he's trying to survive something that he feels is a negative situation. But again, in my mind, if this is about an abusive person, they quite frankly deserved it. Going through the notes, I don't quite know. Oh, okay, so I was meant to bring up the point of him controlling that person a little bit later, but I already brought that up. And then at some point through the video, he wakes up scared and confused underwater. And I almost wonder if this is a metaphor for when she left. She finally realized that she deserved better, and she just left him. And he did not expect this. So, again, he feels this is a very negative situation, and what's the best way to put it? He did not expect her to leave. He felt he was in control. He felt that he really had a handle on his little disgusting attempt to control her, and that, you know, she very much needed him. But then she left. So that's what the being underwater, scared and confused, is meant to represent. Sorry, again, going through the notes. Okay, so, and then at one point, the song turns very angry. His vocals, the music, everything turns very angry, as the same female pops up out of the water very powerfully. So it kind of gives this connotation of the tables have turned. He is now the prisoner. She is in control. And he starts screaming the line, "Ish Hasadish," which means "I hate you." So this could very well coincide with that, because he very much loved it when he had the control, but now that she has the control, now that she realizes that she can be in control of her life, he hates her. And then, in a turn that I really did not expect from a Lindemann video, he has never been known to censor anything in his video. There is a lot of censoring. And the scenes prior to when the very large censor bar pop up kind of allude to maybe some violence. At some point you see blood on his face. I believe you see blood on her face as well. There is definitely blood on his bandmate's face too. But some of these scenes kind of suggest very heavy violence and sex. And the sexual aspect that it may kind of be leading to is maybe he did use sex as one of his tools, as well as violence, unfortunately, to control her. And then at one point, while he's underwater, an eel is swimming by, and he very aggressively grabs it and just starts eating it head first. And I don't know if it's maybe a sign of my age. My first thought was maybe this is kind of a nod to when Ozzy bit the head off the bat. Not promoting it, of course, but just kind of a nod to that incident. Because every once in a while, people will put Easter eggs in their videos and whatnot. So perhaps this was kind of a nod to that. However, the main thesis that I'm going under is that since an eel would be something that's very disgusting, especially while it's alive, that it's meant to kind of represent he knows he messed up because maybe she was a very good cook, and now the things he has to eat to survive are very disgusting. So I'm not entirely sure if that's what it's meant to represent. It also could just be meant to represent the mania that he's going through. He liked to be in control and he lost that control, so now he's just pissed. Now he's essentially just rabid. So, just kind of two juxtaposed theories that could very well explain that scene in the video. And then closer to the end, she swims away and he looks very desperate and panicked. And this is, I believe, while the song is still very angry, I don't think it slows back down at the end. I could be wrong, though. But I believe the juxtaposition between the anger and the sorrow is meant to represent that he knows he messed up. That he knows she was very good for him and probably very good to him. And that maybe he realizes he deserves this now. Or maybe he doesn't even realize he deserves it. Maybe he's that type of person that he feels his abuse and his control is justified. But at first he attempted to control her the same way he used to via anger. But now that he can't do that, now he's going to try to emotionally manipulate her by passing himself off as the victim. And then it goes back to him being frozen. And I almost wonder if this kind of represents he's stuck in that moment. Again, going back to the idea that he very much realizes that he screwed up. He really kind of messed up his life. And that it's kind of a regret. Maybe that's what the cold is meant to represent too. The bitter feeling of regret, perhaps. But I almost kind of lean more towards the idea that he's frozen in that moment. He cannot escape that moment. This moment has very much had an impact on his life. And again, just to reiterate, given today's society, I am not sympathizing with someone who would do that sort of thing. I'm just saying that in his mind, maybe he feels he was justified. However, decent, civilized human beings realize that someone who abuses and controls someone is not in the right for doing that. Excuse me. And also, some of the lyrics suggest some very antisocial behavior. The lyrics that Vlog Dave interpreted, some of them include, I like the streets when they're empty. So it kind of gives this air of, I don't want to be around human beings. I just completely have a distaste for them. And that's really kind of backed up by a line that says, I like animals, but humans, not so much. There's a line that says, I like full glasses. Sorry, weather change. This kind of could lead to an alcohol addiction. Or not lead to an alcohol addiction. This could... What's the word I'm looking for? I'm being put on the spot here in my own video. This could kind of lead to the idea that maybe the character in this song had an alcohol addiction. And it's been well documented that, unfortunately, while alcohol doesn't necessarily coincide with things like domestic violence and whatnot, it can coincide. So that could really kind of reinforce the theory as well. There is a line about liking her mother but not her father. So I almost wonder if this indicates a fear of the father. He knows that he is mistreating the daughter, and that if the father ever finds out, he's getting his ass beat. or there's going to be some sort of retribution. Maybe he'll end up dead. And liking the mother, it almost makes me wonder too if he's not only objectifying the woman that he's in a relationship with, but he's also objectifying the mother. Maybe he finds the mother particularly attractive, and that's also another reason he could fear the father. It's, well, if even if he doesn't find out the horrible things that, even if the father doesn't find out the horrible things that the character is doing to the daughter, if he ever found out that he had an attraction to the father's wife, the father would, react with, some swift retribution, whatever that may be. Okay, so going back to a point I mentioned earlier, Knebel means a gag in the, well, not necessarily a gag in the mouth, it means a gag. And at one point during the chorus, actually one of the lines that he repeats during the chorus, it essentially says, "I like you with a gag in your mouth." So this can be taken, I would say, one of three ways. One, he's essentially saying, "I like it when you shut up." So this kind of emphasizes the idea that he's dehumanizing this individual. He does not want to hear their opinions. He only wants them to be there like an object. Two, it could indicate that his interest in her is strictly sexual. Maybe she actually had a romantic interest in him, but he only wanted her for sex. Or three, it could be both. So, with all these, and the fact, the very last point actually, throughout the video, he's grabbed his crotch numerous times. I can't believe I'm actually on YouTube talking about a grown man grabbing his dick. Anyway, so he has done this numerous times throughout the video, and this could very much indicate that he only saw her as a sexual being. And naturally, that's not how you build a relationship. If you're going to build a relationship, you should actually have a genuine interest in that person and who they are and what they have to say. And granted, you won't agree all the time. And yeah, granted, sexual attraction is something in a relationship, but it's not everything. So, these are all the reasons why I really kind of theorize that this video is in fact about an abusive relationship. But if you enjoyed this video, please feel free to like, share, comment, subscribe, ring the notification bell, all the typical crap you hear at the end of every single YouTube video. If this just simply wasn't your thing, I have other thoughts videos, both video game related and non. I also have video game related footage that has nothing to do with thoughts. I have funny moments, I have epic moments, so on and so forth. But if this channel wasn't for you as a whole, please feel free to check out my friends. All Your Data Belongs to Us does some very artistic and interpretive videos. My friend Katarina Ivory does Drag Queen Storytime, as well as snack box tastings. Black Angus Reviews does movie and television reviews, podcasts, and social commentary on the political and social, that was a bit repetitive, commentary on the political and social state of today. And my friend Roachhead85 is a very phenomenal Star Wars Battlefront player. He mainly does Battlefront 2015, but he does have some 2017 footage up there as well. He has funny moments, epic moments, and again, I do not know Vlog Dave personally, but feel very free to check him out. Again, maybe he will enrich your life either through entertainment or education, or perhaps both. Regardless of where life takes you, here's wishing only the very best to you and all those closest to you. And have a great day. And kind of breaking away from my typical outro, I do want to emphasize a point, even though I have made this already. Talking about the subject matter in this video, again, a real relationship, and granted, not all real relationships work, but a real relationship is based on actual mutual interest. It's not based on shallow things. So I see a lot of that anymore, and it really is sad. So the best advice I can give to anybody, regardless of age, because there are people that, they are older and they still haven't grasped this concept, but a real relationship is based on really knowing the person and appreciating who they are. It's not based on, sexual attraction or what they can do for you or whatever. So please absolutely take these words to heart, and regardless of where life takes you, here's wishing only the very best to you and all those closest to you. And have a great day. Thank you.